What's up, everybody? Funnel Doc here, and today we're going to be talking about follow-up funnels in Actionetics MD in ClickFunnels. So this is going to be a basic overall walkthrough or tutorial of how to set up a follow-up funnel. Now, I'm going to have following videos that are going to break down each type of follow-up funnel that I'll show you in here, like desktop notifications, all those different type of things. We'll jump into those as we get farther in this video, but know that there are going to be following videos that are going to go in depth on each of those topics. So to get to your follow-up funnels, you're going to first want to hover over this tab right here at the top that says Actionetics. And again, this is for Actionetics MD. So you're going to come down here and you're going to go down to where it says Follow-up Funnels Beta. You'll click that, and then this page here will open. Now, this is a list of all your different follow-up funnels. Now, for those that don't know exactly what a follow-up funnel is, a follow-up funnel is the series of emails, texts, messenger bot. There's a whole bunch of follow-up possibilities that we're going to get into, but these are the automation. So when someone opts in, if you want them to receive the delivery of the opt-in, and then maybe you want to show them some podcast or something else like that. But this is how you can develop your actual email series, and you can have text and desktop notification, messenger notification, and things like that built in. So the way that you activate a follow-up funnel is you first have to have an email list. Now, the lists are right here. We're not going to jump into that. I'm sure you know what it is, and if you don't, I have other videos you can see that will help you out. But the email list is where you're gathering all the names from opt-in, sales, abandoned cart, etc. And when someone joins a list, that causes a specific follow-up funnel that's attached to that list to start. And you'll see, you'll be able to sequence it so your follow-up funnel steps, something could happen now, and then in a day, and then in 2 days or 3 days later. You can set up however you want as far as length goes for your actual follow-up funnel, and I'll show you about that right now. So to create a follow-up funnel, you're going to tap on this little orange-yellow button right there. Now, you're going to name your follow-up funnel. Now, remember, this is for your own personal ability to tag it, to be able to find it, to be able to reference it. No one's going to see this but you. So when you title it or when you label this, make sure you keep in mind whatever type of nomenclature you're using for tagging or labeling so that you're able to have a organized list. Because what will happen if you're just putting random tags and whatever and not grouping things properly, next thing you know, you've got 30 million follow-up funnels going all over the place, and it's just hard to find any of them. So first of all, you're going to name your follow-up funnel. This is going to just be test FF for test follow-up funnel. And then our group tag we have now. This is for demos. I have a group tag of demo funnels that I keep. So the group tag is your overall bucket, we're going to call it, of where your follow-up funnels are going to go. So let's say that you have a specific project. So the group tag for this, if I was doing, it could be funnel agency secrets. You know, this could be a follow-up funnel specifically for my course. And then this would probably be, instead of test, of course, it'd be like abandoned cart or a purchase, or maybe no like and trust campaign, something like that. Maybe it's a retargeting sequence. It just depends on where you want this in your customer journey. So we're going to go ahead and add this to our demo funnel. And now, who will receive the follow-up funnel? Now, the cool thing about the way they have this now set up is you can actually add multiple lists. So if you want the same follow-up funnel, it's not going to happen often, but if you want the same follow-up funnel for multiple lists, you can now pick multiple lists. So for instance, if I wanted the Funnel Labs opt-in, and then maybe ClickFunnels 101 to get this, and then the master list. We're not going to do the master list, doesn't make sense. But say we're doing a waiting list, all right? So now if I hit create follow-up funnel, all these 3 lists, whatever people are on that list would receive this follow-up funnel. And any new people added to this list would also receive this follow-up funnel. Now, to create or to delete these lists, if you don't want to be on that, all you have to do is click the little X. Now, I do have a test list. There we go, test list. And this is what we're going to send it to. So now we're going to create our follow-up funnel. So we have the name of the funnel, the group tag, and then who will receive it. Create your follow-up funnel. Now, here was what I was talking about before. Now, when you're creating a follow-up funnel, now this is the actual step name. So if we're sending the opt-in, this could be delivery of opt-in, it could be a welcome email, it could be a number of things, but this is how you're going to actually title this. So if there's multiple days, you might title it day 1 welcome email. Next one could be day 3, you send to YouTube or something like that, depending on what you want it to be. So for this one, we're going to just call it day 1 demo, just so we can walk you through the process. So day 1 demo. Now, these are the different type of apps that are available. Now, they do have all these other integrations, Active Campaign, etc., that you can build into your follow-up funnels, but we're not going to get into any of those. We're going to stick right into Actionetics. Now, as you can see, when I hover over them, the message and imaging to the right changes. So if you want to use just this specific app, Actionetics, you're going to want to include these things, add them to a list, remove them from a list, email notification. Now, this email notification is very simplistic. It's not like the email messenger. This is like if you just want to send somebody an email, it's like, oh, someone bought your course or someone's interested in signing up for your program. So it's more like just a notification. It's not an actual email. This is also where you'd set up adding a tag. So maybe you want to give someone specific permissions to one of your products. ClickFunnels has the ability that if you add a tag to someone, they'll now be able to see this product and access it. So this is for some of my opt-ins, like my mini course, ClickFunnels 101 and Messenger Bots 101. This is where I'd go through and I add the tag here. So as you've been added to the list, you'll now get this tag on your name. Now all of a sudden the product's available to you. You can also remove tags and unsubscribe a contact here. Next one is the email messenger. Now this is where you're going to actually send emails from. And we'll get all into this in just a second. I'm going to actually walk through using the email messenger in just a second so that you guys can see start to finish how you set up a step in a funnel. Now the next one's Facebook Messenger. This one is pretty rudimentary, let's say. If you're comparing it to MiniChat or ChatFuel or any of the other, Opesto, I believe is the other one, any of those type of chatbots that are out there right now, I would recommend going with those over the Facebook Messenger feature. This isn't bad, but really you can just send very simple messages and send an email. So there's plenty of places you can use this in your own marketing, but if you're going to really get into Facebook Messenger at all, I would recommend jumping into like a mini chat, which is super easy to use. Desktop Messenger. This is where it actually shoots a little message across the top, and it actually will appear on your phone. So it's pretty cool. Under your phone's under, it'll say like it says like Google, and it'll send this little message on your phone and also appear on your actual desktop or mobile device. And the next one is a funnel messenger. This is just a in-browser notification that pops up, and it has a display just like you see here where it has some text and a button or a URL to go. Retargeting messenger. So this is pretty amazing. I mean, it's not super amazing, but it's pretty cool. So this allows you to actually add people or retarget them to a Facebook audience that you've created. So this is pretty amazing. We're going to jump into that in each one of these, I'm going to have a separate video breaking each one down and talking about them specifically. And then the next one we have is text messenger. And this is just, sending a text, SMS to your phone. Again, it's still pretty basic stuff, but some of these are a lot better than others. I'm going to give you my honest opinion with each one as we go along. But today we're going to go ahead and show you how to set it up using the email messenger. And to select one, all you do is just like I did. You just click on it. It will automatically reroute you to the next page. Here's automatically going to auto-populate whatever step name you had from before. Where you have send from. Now this is the email integrations you've got set up. So we're going to use the funnel doc one there. And then from, now this is going to display in the actual inbox. So it's going to say the name and then the subject line. In this case, we'll say the funnel doc. Can't type. Next thing, now I broke this down in a couple videos, but since we're really talking about funnels, I'm going to take a second and really break down the filters or rule group, because this is basically how you're going to filter anything that's an email, a text messenger, any type of engagement. You can use these rule groups when you're sending out a broadcast. Multiple times throughout ClickFunnels, you're able to use these rule groups to help segment the list even more. So say you have people on a list that had opted in, you could segment people who haven't or have purchased. Maybe someone that opened up or clicked on actual step in a broadcast. I'm going to break it down right now. We're going to show you about this. So what you do, now normally it's set right there. I deleted it, but you say it's like anyone that's engaged less than 31 days. That means that if they haven't engaged with anything in your site past 31 days, they wouldn't receive the email. I like to usually delete that or change it to a little higher setting, because if someone, maybe they have been on the list and they've just been waiting, I don't want them to not be able to engage with me just because they've been on a list for a while. And I don't want anyone on my list to be dead. So if you don't want to be on my list, then get out, So here we have the rule group. You're just going to click this button. Now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 types of rule groups. Now when you first set a rule group, first thing, let's look at social here. Now, realize that it says only include contacts who meet all of these requirements. So if I hit another rule group, here's one. So we could say this one. This is the cool thing. A lot of people don't realize this, but on your social here, on your social, it has all the different social media platforms, and they actually track stuff. So maybe like we wanted it to be Instagram. I can't spell. Instagram's down here. So what if we said Instagram followers greater than, and I could type in 50,000. Now, only people, because ClickFunnels in the action score and Actionetics, it actually tracks the email that you're using to sign up with or that you opt in with. If it's attached to any, it goes out to all social media, and if any social media attached to that email, it pulls them in. So if I used my Facebook email, the one that I've set my Facebook up account with or my Instagram account with, and then opted in somewhere, it would now recognize that. It'd go find that, pulls that information off that social media account. So you're actually able to be very specific. So say you have a master list of 50,000 or 100,000 people or whatever, but maybe you only want to speak to people that have a certain amount of following. What if I wanted to speak to people that have a Facebook following as well? See, now this is the thing that I was pointing out. Where's Facebook following? So, and then we say, now, and here's the thing, you say equals to, contains, is greater than, is less than, or is not blank. And again, maybe like a Facebook 1,000 of like 100 or 10,000 or something. So now, it has to match all of these requirements in here. Now, if I add another, there's two ways you can do it. If I want to keep filtering this down, I just keep clicking on this. So like say, for instance, if we had an email step that we wanted to make sure, you click on the email step, and then opened email step, never opened, never click, or clicked email step. So it's actually saying now that if I sent them an email, and if they didn't open it, like we can say never opened, equal to, and then I just pick one of my email series that are going out right now. So maybe they never opened their thank you for purchase video. So now I could send them an email saying, hey, you didn't open this, blah, blah, blah. But these are all, it has to meet all of these requirements. So this is very specific when you do it within one like this. One of the ways you can do now, though, is if I go add another rule group, it has the or. So it can meet all of these or these. So I could do several ors. So if I take these maybe now, so if I move the Instagram here and I move the Facebook one in the middle, and then I set up another one now, it'd be like has 50,000 or has that. Right now it's set up you have to have 50,000 and the 10,000 or you won't fit in this list. And again, the way you can make them so they're very specific is just keep clicking on the tabs here at the bottom. And then if you want it to have the or feature, you're going to click the add new rule group. Now again, I want to go over some of the other tabs that are available for this. Next one is contact. Now this is all the different stuff that's gathered in Actionetics. If they input some of the data, some of it they go out and get it, but most of this is like their address, city, state, stuff like that. They have to put in themselves. But like, say you wanted to go after people that are just in a certain city, you go city equals to, and then you could put like, Las Vegas, or, you could do a zip code equals to, and you could do certain zip codes. So you can get really specific when your messages, when you're sending out to your list or your broadcast. The other thing we're looking at are the funnel. Now these are actual, if I'll click on it. Okay, for some reason funnel's not working. Interesting. Add new rule group. There we go, funnel, boom. So for funnel, you have visited step, never visited step, equals to. So this would only go out to people who had been to my, let's see, like we could go a thank you page or something, or a confirmation page. The possibilities are really endless, but you can actually see here that you can actually target visited or never visited certain steps in your funnel. So now you could have it to where, like, if someone hits your opt-in page, if they didn't hit the thank you page, you could have this set to go maybe an hour afterwards as a follow-up sequence or something. I mean, really, the possibilities are endless. And then the product here, you have bought or never bought, and then you just pick your product. List. Now, this is on a static list or not a static list. And as you know, in Actionetics, you have two list types. You have a smart list and a static list. A smart list is a dynamic list that's constantly being updated. And you'll usually make a smart list, and you'll use rule groups to decide what's in that smart list. So again, maybe if we're going with the Instagram, Facebook, layout there, it will pull anyone in your database on your list. It will pull anyone that meets that criteria onto another list. So now you could send them a specific follow-up series or whatever, So that's again in the rule groups. And the next thing you go into would be broadcast. You can actually look at broadcast here, and you can look at your open broadcast, never opened, clicked, never clicked. So now you could be like, he opened, but they never clicked, and then you could send them a refollow-up and be like, hey, I saw that you opened the email, but you didn't go to the page. What happened? So it gets that like personable little feel to it, because it allows you to segment your list and be able to have certain emails to go to certain people at certain times in their customer journey. Again, the list would be the static and the non-static. The static list is just a list that you have to like opt in, or an automation has to send it to you. It's not something that's dynamic, that's pulled in depending on certain criteria. There has to be an action to be added to that list. And then email step. I wonder why it's not working. And then email step. Okay, we'll try it again. And then email step. There we go. On email step, you have never opened, never clicked, etc., just like that, equals to, and then have all your emails. So it's pretty much all the same across the board. You can set it to different criteria need to be met, and because of that, it will engage with them in a certain way. So rule groups are very, very powerful. I highly encourage you to play with them, figure out different ways that you can make different engagements happen because of different parts they are in your customer journey and different spots that they've gone to your value ladder. So once you've determined everything here, you're going to hit next. Now, this is where it would depend if you're using an email messenger, a desktop notification. At this point, you'd get to the actual build out of each one of those steps. Like I said, I've got, and you can see in my email, in my series, that I've got one broken down for each one, so you see each one in depth. So, but this one, we're just going to go over the email real quick. Subject line. Now, this is where you'd want to put the subject line. It goes your name that we put before, like it was Funnel Doc, and the subject line of what the email's about. I highly recommend using emojis. They catch people's eye. They really, as you're think about that. Last time you were skimming down through your own email list, did emoji stop and grab your eye? I bet it did. So I highly recommend you using emojis that are related to your subject line. I like to write out a subject line that's going to be very curiosity based. It's going to want them to like, what's this email about? I need to learn more about that. If you're too specific in your subject line, if people think they know what you're talking about, unless they're super, super interested, like it's a launch of like funnel agency secrets or something like that, you're not going to get as much engagement. So try and keep it curiosity based, unless they're specifically looking out for something like an opt-in, and then the subject line is like, hey, welcome aboard, your opt-in's right here, click in here to get it. Now the pre-header, this one, is only affected if your subject line is too short. Now, you may have seen this before in an email where after the subject line, it will like start pulling in the first line of the email. That's because there's no pre-header. A lot of times I'll like to use the subject line as like a get them in, be like, oh, how to create a business that could create 10K a month in 30 days. And then the pre-header might be something like, no experience needed. All you need is the desire to be a winner or something, But you can just stack them. So I like to stack depending on what I'm talking about in my subject line and my pre-header line is both keep them curiosity based but feed off one another. That way the email's not pulled in because it might be weird like, hey Jeff, how are you doing there or something. So and then you'll pick whatever template you want to use. You'll click the template up. Here, we'll put this as a demo, and then you'll pick whatever templates you want to use. Let's use the funnel scripts template. At that point, you can save your email as a template. This is what I highly recommend everyone to do. Have a base email with your headline, your footer, your images there, so that way you only have to go in and fill in the middle copy with new images, new text, etc. It will save a ton of time in the long run. So have whatever different type of email series you have or different maybe brands you're working with, save each one as a template. So to edit the email, you'd go in here, you'd click edit email, and it's going to have the email. It would pop up just like so, and here you go in and edit your email. We'll talk about that real quick. So you have the first thing is each one of these, just like in the ClickFunnels Builder, is in a row. To access a row, you're going to click here. All the different elements are available here. Delete the row, colors, etc. Close that down. This is just an image. And then below these are different type of text fields. If you wanted to add something in, you go right to the plus. These are your different options that you can add into your email: button, image, text, row, divider, bullets, calendar date, social media links. And then you just build it out however you see fit. At the top, you have your main settings. You have your body font, alignment, background color if you want to actually change the background color. So if you wanted to go black or something like that. And then, or if you wanted to have a background image, you could do background position. Background size is on auto. And then you close that down. Pre-header, if you didn't put anything in your pre-header before, you can fill it in here. Preview, this allows anything that's saved. You can now preview it and have a pop-up page so you can see what your email is going to look like. Close that out. And then, of course, you're going to have save and then close. Always make sure you save as much as possible. That's one thing bad about ClickFunnels. Like if I was to do a bunch of work on here and then hit close, then it's gone. So always make sure you save as much as possible. Every once in a while, a glitch and you won't be able to do save for some reason or something. Save as much as possible. Not every sentence by any means, but within reason, when you feel like you've done a lot of work, save it just to always be sure. Hit close when you're done. Again, if you want to edit the email, click here. You can see your email to the right here. You get a little demo. And here's what it's going to look like. See, like here's your name, and then here is your subject line, and then your pre-header line was here. And then you can scroll and see what the email will look like. If you want to see it again, you can also pop it out, click right there, and it'll give you another preview. Again, that's right here to pop it out. And if you ever want to change any of your settings, general setup settings, so if you want to go back, like now I want to go to this tab, you can either access it here where the little gear is, or you can actually click on any of these. Once they've been highlighted, you've been to one, you can see you are about to go to one, like we're about to go scheduling. You can actually just click on the link and go to that specific section. So once everything's done here, you always want to click next at the bottom so it saves everything. Now we're at the scheduling portion. This is when you're going to schedule when you want this actual funnel step or this follow-up funnel for this part of it to start. So if you want it immediately, leave it at 0, you're fine. But if you want it to maybe go, like say you have a webinar that is 2 hours long or something, so at the 3 hour mark you want to send them an email or some type of engagement to follow up with them about the webinar, this is where you put that 3 hours right there. Now when you're doing a consecutive follow-up funnel, like a long follow-up, like a know, like, and trust series for like 30 days, this is where you change your days. So now it'd be like you'd first always have like your immediate one would be 0 here for hours. And then the next one I change, and this would be a whole nother different step, which you'd click this button right here, this green button, to be able to add the next step. We'll get to that in a second when I add another step to show you. But here you'd have your hours and days. So then if I want it to be like 10 days, I just hit there, click 10 days. Now this is a pretty cool thing. I want this push window. Now this is a pretty cool option because as of before, like when they opted in, if they opted in at midnight, then all the sequences are going off, triggering at midnight, which isn't always the best time to be engaging with people. So say you find that maybe emails for you open the best Monday through Friday from 9 to 5, business hours. So I can add a push window that's going to actually allow me to only send this funnel step during that time. So you click the green button like I just did to open up this window. Then you're going to pick what day. So I want Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I come here and let's say from 9 o'clock, that's 10. Let's roll it back just a little. And you see right here it tells you. And then we'll say, what do we say, 9 to 5. So there's business hours. Now, this step, even when it gets to day 10, won't trigger unless it's 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. So keep in mind if you are setting up this because it can impact and delay your sequences. Because say the last sequence went off on Friday, it's now going to not go, the next one, if it has the same parameters, won't go off until Monday. So you'll have like a 3-day, 2-day sort of delay right there when you set things up this way. Or if, say, they get an engagement after 6, the next one won't go off till the next day. So you just want to keep that in mind when you are using the push or the push windows. They are a great tool, and I'm glad they added it, but just keep in mind when creating your follow-up funnel sequences that when you add push windows in, it can delay the actual flow of the funnel of when timing will go off. So next thing, once you have everything picked here, you can always look to your side right here. This gives you a summary of what's going on so far. Again, you've got your filters. This would be any rules that you created would be listed here. This is the account, the SMTP account that I'm using right now. Right now, this is how many people with the filters applied and on this list are going to be receiving. There's only one person, me, on this list because it's my test list. But if it was like another list, it could have 300, 400, 1,000, million, whatever, it would be listed right here. And then again, here's your overview of your actual email. Once everything's copacetic on this page, hit the review for sending button right here. Boom. This is going to give you your ultimate overview where it's going to show everything here. This is your ultimate summary of everything. Right here it shows you the filtered people that have been filtered out or people that have passed the steps. So say for instance you're making something for day 10 and they're on day 30. If they pass that step, they will not receive this. So sometimes you'll see these are the two ways that it'll filter out, both through the rule groups themselves being a filter, and if someone's passed that timeline that's according, they can pass that step. As you can see right here, our total list count is 1 and our total send count is 1. And down here it says triggers 10 days after the start of the follow-up funnel. Again, the start of a follow-up funnel is the moment someone's attached or joins a list that's attached to this follow-up funnel. In this case, it was the test list that I showed you guys at the beginning. And if you ever see any of these little gears pop up, that means if you click on it, it's going to affect this area. So if I wanted to add more rules, I want to change it up, I click here, and that would take us back to the general settings page where we'd be able to add the rule. Now, if you're not ready to make something live, the cool thing is you can save this as a draft. So let's go ahead and save it as a draft. And then as you can see here now, here's your, even though it says day 1, that's what we were originally going to name it, we moved it to day 10. And now when someone's joined this, 10 days later, they're going to receive this email message. Now, when you want to add another follow-up step, so first of all, let's edit this guy. Now, if you look, you'll see it's highlighted right here. This is what they call an overview. This here you can see what the name of the follow-up funnel is, when it was created, This is what list it's hooked to. So as you can see, it's a test list. And if you will click on this right now, it'll take you to that actual test list. Total contacts and people currently in the funnel. You have 24, 7 days, and 30 days in all times. This will show you the different amount of people. So again, like in the last 24 hours, 7 days, 30 days, all times. It's pretty self-explanatory. If I want to change anything about this follow-up funnel, I edit the settings here. Or once this follow-up funnel is complete, this is something cool. I can actually share it. So if I click here and then highlight this, now people will be able to actually, with just by clicking on that URL, when they have a ClickFunnels account, download this whole series. So everything about it, this is a great thing, and I love using it for my course because it makes it super easy for people to download complete series into their ClickFunnels, when then they just go in, change a couple things up about it, make it their own brand, and it saves a lot of time for sure. So whenever you're adding a new step, you can either use this. Oh, that's one thing before we move on to that. This is the overview for the complete follow-up funnel. You'll see each step is listed right here. Underneath here, see it says funnel steps. These are each individual step in this total follow-up funnel. So if I click here, now I'll see the overview, but it's for that specific step. And as you can see right here, this has no steps because no one's reached, or no stats because no one's reached this page this time. You can turn this button on right here if I wanted to unpause it and make it live right now. If I want to see the send list of people that are being sent it right now, no one's in this step right now because we haven't made it live, so that's why it says that. If I wanted to preview it, this is what the email would look like. And again, you can save as a template, edit the design, pop it out to look at it, or edit the settings here. And if I go back to that again, this is the overview. You can see how many people it's sent to, how many people failed, how many people opened, how many people didn't open, clicked, unsubscribed. Any type of earnings, related funnels, if people are going to certain steps, it actually tracks all that down here. So you're able to actually see that, like, oh, my day one demo has made me like $500 today, or $1,000, or whatever's going on. So you can actually see the performance of your emails that way. And if you go to the main follow-up funnel step right here, the overview, you actually can see that too right here where there's send, click-through rate, amount of sales. So you'll be able to see each step that will be listed here. Now again, as we're going to talk to another step, or talking about adding steps, you can add a step by either clicking here at the bottom or the green button here. So you just click again. Again, the same thing. We're going to call this day 12 demo because we'll add another day in here. This one we'll go ahead and stick. We're going to add this time, we're going to use Actionetics and we're going to add a tag. So we're going to send from, again, we're going to send this is from, we'll do this one from Funnel Agency Secrets. And then you've got your rule groups if you wanted to. Again, we talked about them earlier. You'll go to your next step. Now this one, you've got different toggle switches here. You can add to a list, remove to a list, email notification. Again, this is a very simple email notification when you click on that. Why isn't it opening up? There, that is weird. There we go. So a little delay there for a second. Not sure why it's taking so long. But it'll pop open, and it's really, it has a little text box there. There you go. And this is all you can do. So it's very basic. I wouldn't use this other than if you're trying to notify like an admin or someone that, hey, a certain step's hit, or maybe someone's engaged and they're curious about your, your master course or something like that, or some higher ticket training. You need some like one-on-one involvement, or you just need a notification. This very simple step though, I don't recommend using it that much other than for simple notifications. So again, you've got add to list, remove for list. This is what we're going to do, a tag step. So if they join my ClickFunnels 101 mini course, you'd put that for the tag. That's a tag that I noticed that I'm using currently to notify Actionetics to allow people access to that mini course. And then you'll use a comma to separate. So if I wanted to add several tags, like I also have Messenger Bot 101. That's in my other mini course for messenger bots. A lot of times when people join, they get them both at the same time, so this would add both tags to them. You can also remove tags, and then you can unsubscribe contacts, and then you could do it globally from all lists. This is just to unsubscribe somebody. So we're going to go back to the tags here, hit next, And again, same thing, because this one we decided is going to be day 12, so we're going to set this for day 12. No push notification. And this is what I was saying before. This right here, this middle step changes depending on what you're using, and we're going to break down in other videos each one specifically so you know how to use each one of the follow-up steps. But this one changes. The general settings, the scheduling, and summary are pretty much always the same. You're going to have this type of window with push notifications, when it's going to trigger. Don't forget to set this. I've done that before, and all of a sudden everything is doing instantly. So don't do that. So make sure you put your trigger actions here. Then when everything's ready, you're going to click Review for Sending. Here is your overview of everything, your summary. List everything right here. Who's going to get it? We're going to say this is a draft. Again, we could make it live if we wanted to, and now you'll see here is our actual layout. And then you'll see here's day 10 and day 12. So now once somebody joined this list, 10 days later, they'd get this email. 12 days later, they'd get this. Now, that is not 12 days after 10 days. So this isn't a total of, like, in mini chat, the way they do it is this would be a total of 22 days. That's not how it works. This is day 10, and this is day 12 from the time you join the list. So this is 2 days later. And then you just keep adding funnel steps. So that is how to use follow-up funnels in Actionetics MD. I hope this was an informative video. Please do me a favor and smash that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Also, if you could post down in the comments what videos you'd like to see, I'd greatly appreciate it. If you're curious about my Funnel Agency Secrets course, there is going to be a link down in the comment or down in the description telling you all about that if you want to join. If it's not April 4th yet, you can save $500 on the beta launch. Thank you so much for watching this video. Funnel Doc out.